Towns are giving away land for just $1, sometimes even free. And the catch is not what you think it is. In 2013, the town of Mundere knocked down its grain elevator. That elevator had been the economic spine of the community for over a century. When it came down, the lots it sat on went with it. The town council's response was blunt. They priced the lots at $1 each, threw in zero property tax during construction, and reduced rates for the first 3 years, and put out the call. Mayor Mike Sarich said it plainly. Vacant land does nothing for the community and nothing for the tax base. He would rather give it away and see something built than watch it sit empty another decade. Two businesses came, a children's daycare and a real estate office. On Main Street, that had been losing storefronts for 20 years. That is the difference between a town that stays alive and one that does not. The rural municipality of Pipestone in southwestern Manitoba set the price slightly above free, and the reason is worth understanding. A $1,000 refundable deposit comes with each lot. You break ground within a year, you get it back. That deposit was not about the money, it was a filter. The municipality had watched what happened when towns gave things away with no conditions attached. People took the lot, did nothing, and the town ended up worse off than before, holding a half-sold subdivision with no houses and no tax revenue. 19 of 24 lots sold. 20 homes went up. 10% population growth in a region where most municipalities were moving the other direction. But the reason people left in the first place is still there. Agriculture mechanized. One combine operator now covers ground that once employed a dozen families. The lots brought some of them back, not the jobs. QPAR has been selling lots for $1 since the early 1990s. Free municipal taxes, free water for the first year. The deal has been on the table for 30 years. That is not a sign that the program is working slowly. It is a sign that the structural problem is larger than the program. Saskatchewan lost more than half of its rural communities between 1931 and 2006, not to disaster, not to disease, but to arithmetic. Farms got bigger, towns got smaller. QPAR is one of hundreds of Saskatchewan municipalities competing for the same shrinking pool of people willing to move to the prairie. The free taxes and the free water are real. They save you real money in the first year. What they cannot do is add a hospital, shorten the highway to the nearest city, or guarantee that the school stays open if enrollment keeps dropping. Craik is the only town on this list that told applicants what kind of house they were allowed to build. In 2001, the town and its surrounding rural municipality established the Craik Sustainable Living Project, not a marketing phrase, an actual organization with a 127-acre parcel on the edge of town. They subdivided it, sold the lots for $1, and required every buyer to submit a plan for an energy-efficient home. What grew out of that parcel is unlike anything else on the prairie. There are straw bale houses and homes built from insulated concrete forms with wood pellet boilers. Craik ended up as one of only 2 rural jurisdictions in all of Saskatchewan to register population growth in the decade after the project launched, an increase of 11%. The catch is physical. You install your own water, power, and septic. Most contractors will not touch it. You are building in a town of 450 people on raw land with no grid connection, and a committee reviewing your plans. That is not a catch. That is the entire project. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. In 2013, Mayor Gilles Marchand of St. Louis de Blanford said, "The problem faced by towns of our size is devitalization that happens quietly as young people move to cities." St. Louis de Blanford is not remote. It is just steadily becoming emptier, one graduation at a time, as young people leave for Montreal and do not come back. The municipality bought land, cut it into 40 lots, and began giving them away. The conditions were a $1,000 refundable deposit and a house worth at least $125,000 built within 1 year. The deposit comes back when the house is done. The year deadline is not flexible. Here's what the program does not advertise. Concordia University professor Bill Rimey studied these programs and found that residential development costs municipalities more in services than it returns in taxes. For example, roads, sewage, snow removal, and fire services. Adding 20 families does not have those costs. It marginally reduces them. The town is betting that the long-term benefit of a functioning population outweighs the short-term subsidy. That bet might be right. McAdams train station was built in 1900 when the Canadian Pacific Railway needed a hub on the Atlantic Line. For the first half of the 20th century, it was one of the busiest rail junctions in the region. Marilyn Monroe passed through it once, before she got famous and started taking planes. By 2018, the station was a museum drawing 30,000 tourists a year to a town of 1,350 people who had mostly stopped believing anything good was going to happen there. Mayor Ken Stanix counted 25 derelict properties when he took stock of what McAdam had become. He took the municipality's ownership of 16 of them, tore down whatever was standing, and listed the cleared lots for $1 each. One condition: a house of at least 1,200 square feet, built within 2 years. Within days, over 100 inquiries arrived from across Canada. A year later, that number was past 600. A group of developers contacted the mayor and offered to buy all 16 at once. Stanix turned them down flat. He was not running a land sale, he was running a filter. He wanted the kind of people who would show up, build something specific, and stay. They came from Ontario, Quebec, India, and Jamaica. 10 lots sold inside the first year. The remaining 6 had deals pending. At the same time, 75 other homes sold across the municipality, people who never touched the dollar lot program at all, who simply read the news and thought, that is the kind of place I want to live. One couple from Montreal listed their house within 48 hours of seeing the story. They bought a 5-bedroom home in McAdam for under $50,000. The population grew by 100 people. In a town of 1,350, that is not a rounding error. But the railway is gone, and it is not coming back. McAdam grew because a small number of people decided that the life it offered was worth more than the career opportunities it did not have. That calculation works for retirees. It works for remote workers. It works for people who have genuinely decided that the main thing a city was giving them was a higher rent. It does not work as a general solution, and McAdam's mayor never claimed it was one. The land is $1. What it buys is a town that already decided it was worth saving, and is now asking whether you have decided the same thing. That question is still the real catch.